Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers are the 2024 World Series champions. Yeah, Yankees. What a season.
Walker Buehler. Swing and miss.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Hey, they still have the code JOHNBOY Playoffs 10 going on. I don't know when it ends. It's 10% off at SeatGeek. The playoffs are over, so if you haven't done it yet, code JOHNBOY Playoffs 10. It gets you 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. Go see, maybe go get some culture. If you live in New York and you followed that team all year, maybe go get some culture.
Yeah, go to like a museum. Yeah,
maybe sports aren't for you anymore.
No.
Come
to LA.
Go to LA.
Champions out here.
The weather's great in LA. Yeah. It seems like the weather and the baseball in LA are fantastic.
They are.
I'm Jake Storielli. That's Trevor Plouffe. No, it was I was just going to say it was a fun one last night. That would have been a weird way to say it, but it was. Trev, how are you?
That's the thing about like being a baseball fan is you go to a game like that, you understand what you saw there. Like whether it was good for you or bad for you, like you understand you saw like kind of an all-timer. I don't want to say all-timer. I'm not going to give it that, but a very unique, entertaining event happened before your eyes last night.
Oh, that was an all-timer. That was an all-timer.
There was a half inning that was an all-timer, no doubt about that.
A team came back from down 5 runs to win a World Series game. You don't see that every day.
Well, they didn't even score any.
What was that?
Runs.
Wait, what was that? No. I'm gonna have to double check the box score.
Gerrit Cole's final line is an all-timer.
Was up 5 runs and then lost the World Series game by giving up 5 unearned runs in a half inning.
We'll get there.
Can't do that in the World Series.
No, you can't. We've kind of been saying that all postseason long, but I'm curious to hear it, Pop. You got one?
Trevor, I've got a burn, and there's some tough Dodger fans out there, and good. That means you're passionate and whatever. That's kind of the whole deal, man. The better team won. The better team won. Dodgers aren't going to like this part. Maybe they'll like this part even more. The World Series happened LA versus San Diego, and LA won. Those were the 2 best teams. Congrats, LA. Me, Jack Flaherty, and Walker Buehler, they're on my couch right now, just, having a good time.
I don't think they are.
No, they're on somebody's couch. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this baseball game.
Recording in progress.
Final game of the year in the Boogie Down Bronx. Yankees ace Gerrit J. Cole would try to work out one more win for the Yankees, as the Dodgers would hope to be setting off flares behind Jay Flair and the Dodgers bullpen. Bottom 1, Big Justice brings the boom. Aaron Judge with the 2-run homer, and then I jazzed in my pants. Back-to-back in the Bronx. The Bronx is burning. Verdugo RBI single. You met my cousin from Florence, Giancarlo. His 7th postseason homer. Woo-hoo. It's 5-0 Yankees, but in the 5th inning, the Yankees should have called the cops on themselves. Judge beefs a fly ball. Volpe and Jazz combine to make some terrible music, and even the old dogs get involved. I got it. You take it to the tune of 5 unearned runs in 1 World Series inning. Freddie gets fingered, so Teoscar gets grouchy. It's 5-5. Stanton and Lux both sacrifice themselves for the team. The sac fly is underrated, and it's not underrated in LA anymore, as Mookie Betts puts the icing on the cake. The Dodgers win World Series Game 5, Flaherty to Banda to Brazier to Kopech to Vesia to Gratterall to Trinan to Bueller. It's going back to Cali. Dodgers, your 24 World Series champs.
Boy, oh boy, where do we begin?
Well, Trev, I feel like we haven't even said congrats to your Dodgers yet.
Are your mentions not great right now?
Oh,
How are they?
Awful. Dodger fans
Yeah.
are tough, and they're taking the Chris Rose fan in the stands strip sack like a guy actually tried to kill someone. So yes, you can't do that. Yes, we laughed at it in Lifetime, and yes, you have a better baseball team. Take it. Like I don't care. I've never been proud. And Yankee fans are worse because they just watch their team shit on themselves in the World Series.
You got a little bit of both right now.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I don't like
Well,
just
since I'm an
normal
LA fan,
Yanks
everyone's
complaining in the comments.
yeah.
Where do you want to start, Trevor Plouffe?
Man, if you want to see someone kind of tear the Yankees up, Chris Rose kind of went off last night.
Yeah.
It was I never seen him like that. And so I'm very curious to see how everyone reacts to that. Where do I want to start? I think we have to start with the starters.
Okay.
And how about this? Since most of this is going to be about Los Angeles being the better team, let's talk about Gerrit Cole first. I think Gerrit Cole was an absolute animal last night, and he did everything in his power. I know the line looks crazy, but he pitched his ass off. No hits through 4, just looking absolutely electric. And then we get to the 5th, and I don't know if we're ready to get into that just yet. The 5th kind of blows up right in front of his face. One of the things, yes, he was a part of it. No doubt about it. We could talk about Anthony Rizzo in that situation. We can talk about Freddie and Teo, sniping him. He had a chance to get out of that after, 3 blunders with just 1 run, and then he got hit, so you have to mention that. But coming back out, I believe, for 2 more innings, or the start of the second one,
2 more,
and looking great afterwards, and still maintaining his stuff, I thought was pretty impressive, dude. And John Smoltz was talking about it a ton on the broadcast, and just saying there's just not many guys that in the big leagues that could weather that 5th inning and then come back out kind of looking unfazed. And man, like, World Series elimination game, emotions running that high, even the miscues, like, he didn't skip a beat, dude. Like, I know it's hard for pitchers when things behind them go awry. And a lot of times you'll see pitchers, like, even if it's quickly, like grimacing or like just kind of like giving some like, can't believe that just happened to me type thing. And Gerrit Cole it was about business, man. And he went back. So I want to give him credit because, Yankee fans, I think, were calling for him to have this, a start for the ages, if you will. And I don't think it was that. I mean, how can it be that when you lost the game? But I also think that you can really analyze it and say it was almost that. Like, besides giving up those runs, and I think, like I mentioned, the Freddie and the Teo hit afterwards, like, that was a hell of a start by him, man.
Trevor,
And
his defense, his defense
he's part of it, though. So I
gave
have
up
to,
2 innings.
yeah.
That he had a chance to go 9. He definitely had a lane to go 8.
Stuff, yeah.
And Aaron Judge doesn't squeeze a fly ball. Anthony Volpe up 5-0. You need to get an out. That's what that comes down to. So whether that's second base, first base, or third base, that was the one that was hurting the people I was with the most, was the Volpe ball. And for me, there's a play to be had there, but you have a new third baseman in Jazz Chisholm that the Yankees ignore the fact that he's a new third baseman. And for Volpe, you have to know you have to get one out there, that the risk of that play isn't worth it. And Trev, it's where I feel bad for Gerrit Cole. Well, all of it. I feel bad for Gerrit Cole. He gave what should be remembered as a heroic effort that, you're right, kind of won't be. Yankees fans will be like, he looked good that night, huh? That ball to first base. He got Mookie Betts. Heard of him? You know, just a reminder, Mookie Betts was going to win the league MVP this year. Just a reminder, he was playing shortstop. He was racking up WAR. He was the best player in the National League. He got hurt. Didn't win it. So after striking out Shohei, he's got Mookie Betts. His team is letting him down. He gets a squibber to first base. That, Trev, there's some people that won't be able to ever talk about it properly. Because any ball hit to a pitcher's left side, you have to go towards first. Them's the rules. That's PFP.
He did. Look at him.
Trev, when that was hit in live time, the whole stadium and everyone in the stadium assumed Anthony Rizzo would attack that ball, scoop it like he has for 13 big league years or whatever it is, and step on first base, and that Gerrit Cole had escaped a jam in a team that had let themselves down. To see that, you're right. Like, that's why you're giving credit to Cole for stabilizing and not losing focus. There's people that'll be like, well, that's on Gerrit Cole. That's on Riz, man. Sure. I understand the thought process, and I understand people use different parts of their brain. Gerrit Cole has to go to first base until it's not. Sure. He should have not been there. Anthony Rizzo should have been happy to attack and scoop that ball and step on first base and give his own fist pump. And, dude, he's been bad defensively this year. I know he's Anthony Rizzo. I know that, man. They subbed him out in playoff games for Oswaldo Cabrera at first base. That's Oswaldo's sixth best position. They put themselves in this position to do this. Yankee fans weren't surprised by a 5 unearned run inning.
I want to talk about all the plays. The Judge one, I don't think there's much to talk about. He literally took his eyes off the ball. Yeah. He was trying to throw Kiki out at first, I believe. It was that. They showed the slow-mo replay, and it was catch the ball low, which I don't like. You know, he kind of coasted to it. You got to get it above your eyes. That's kind of like rule number 1. Whatever. It's a sinking line drive. I get it. He was right there. But his eyes didn't stay on the ball, man. And sometimes when you're running in like that, your head starts bobbing a little bit. If you start to chop your steps down, which he was doing right there, and all of a sudden, you know, it just goes off your glove. But if you look, I mean, they showed a really nice replay on the broadcast. He just was looking towards first base. So there's number 1. That's a straight up error. It's a straight up error. It's not like a mental error. It's just he zooed it. Nothing you can say about that. The Volpe one, go quickly through that if you want to get that up, Beebs. Talked about this a little bit on Baseball Today. I think it was the right play because at that point, you know, that's like a kind of a slow ground ball to the backhand side. Jazz was at the base. He had everything here. He just didn't get his hips turned enough. And if you'd stop it on the throw, Beebs, for me, you'll see what I mean. He doesn't right there. Like, you got to get that. You got to get a little bit more like in line with the third baseman. Then he kind of like chokes this ball off right here instead of just throwing it. I mean, that's an awkward throw. Like, how many times do you practice that ball? You just don't. So this is just a straight up field play, almost like a second baseman feeding the shortstop on a double play, which, you know, Volpe has 0 experience doing that. He just doesn't get turned enough. His footwork isn't good there, but kind of like, why would it be? I guess you could say he's a big league shortstop, but it's just kind of an awkward play.
Oh.
All of these, the next 2 plays, this one and the Gerrit Cole play, You just don't practice those. Okay, so that one was tough. I think Jazz was there. It was just a bad throw by Volpe. I think it was the right play, the right decision. It was right in front of him. It's just a bad throw. He choked it off, man. He got nervous. That ball felt like a golf ball in his hand right there. So, E, hit the Rizzo one now.
The only thing I'd say about the Volpe ball, Will Smith is running on that, and you have to take in the other factors.
That's a really tough ball to go to first base on right there.
It's a catcher running. I know what you're saying, because second base is a really tough play. Third base, clearly not an easy play. You have to get an out. It's a work, Trev. Like for some of these plays, we start talking like they're baseball. This was the World Series. This was with your season on the line.
Yeah, but Jake, that's the play. He made the right decision. He just didn't execute. Like that's the play.
That's a problem too.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he just did not execute it.
If you had a third baseman over there and a shortstop,
he was there. No, Jazz was in perfect position.
He's not a third baseman, Trev. Like you're missing the details.
But it doesn't. What does it matter?
It matters about making the play.
What does him not being a third baseman have to do with that? It's a horrible throw. The third, even if fucking Nolan Arenado in his heyday was over there, what's he gonna do
He might have a chance to scoop that because he's a third baseman that's seen that play.
I'm not on Jazz for that.
You make that play because you played third base.
No, it's just a horrible throw by Volpe. Right read, bad throw. The next one was, I don't know this. You tell me this, because Dan Rourke, super producer Dan Rourke, he said that he said Rizzo never takes that ball himself.
He never does.
So this is a thing where it's like, okay, we talk about base running. You don't practice during the year. You don't practice PFPs during the year. You practice them in spring training, and that's it. So like these two kind of you have to know what it is. So, Gerrit Cole did start going and then he stopped. Anthony Rizzo could have definitely come in a bit more aggressive and stepped on the base 100%, but he hasn't been doing that all year. So that's like a thing that you just have to know. It was like the baseball gods came down and I don't know, man, like that was just a weird thing. I think he was trying to hang back because there was a ton of spin on that ball, like, off the end of the bat. And there's one, if you can stop it, he was like, right now, stop. I mean, like, what the fuck, dude? He has the ball in plenty of time, and Gerrit Cole's never going to beat Mookie right there because he stopped.
What's the exit velo on that ball? Do we have a number?
70s. I'll get it. Probably 70 something, I would imagine.
And by the end, Rizzo's going back on it. I don't know. I'll tell you who would have fielded that ball and stepped on first. Freddie Freeman. Like, this is a World Series. We're talking about taking your eyes off a fly ball.
Sorry. 49.8.
Going back, Trev.
He was trying. It was a spin ball. I don't mind him going back. I think he still had time to go. If he had made up his mind and said, I'm going to field this and go touch the bag, he would have beat Mookie. But in his mind, he was head down, making sure he caught the ball. And then he went to flip right away and nobody was home. And then he was fucked. It was crazy, dude. I mean, you saw it. I saw it. Everyone watching saw it in live time. We're like, whoa. But again, you can talk all you want about all those miscues. It was still 2 outs. 1 run was in right there. And then you got to deal with Freddie and Teo. This is the length of a lineup. This is guys getting it done. Freddie, 2-strike knock up the middle. Teo double over Judge's head. Like, you still have to give credit to the Dodgers for taking advantage of it. You can say, oh, the Yankees fucked this up. But yeah, they did. They gave him the opportunity.
That's where I wanted to go. I want to talk about the Dodgers. I want to talk about, you gave the Dodgers and Freddie Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez a 6-out inning. So I take Cole's name out your mouth. I don't care. Jesus Christ himself could have been on the mound and the Dodgers were going to push a couple across that inning. So no, the Dodgers.
I don't know. One pitch away, dude.
He got the pitch. and
Well, let me
his
see where the
defense,
pitch was. I'm looking
the,
right now.
the
I mean, it was a
defense
middle and
decided to
fastball.
the defense
99 and a
decided to
half.
not make the play 3 times. Could have had 6 outfielders, and the Dodgers were going to score runs at it. Like, they're the Dodgers. They are the Dodgers. You can't give them 6 outs in an inning.
You did.
You did. And that's why they're World Series champions
But
and the Yankees are not.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I think everyone now is on this train, and it's hindsight for a lot of people. But the Dodgers were by far the better team. Like, I don't even think it was. I honestly don't think it was close. Really
They
being honest, like there's a couple guys that could get the job done for the Yankees. They would have had to have absolutely monster series to beat this team. It's baseball, anything can happen, but the better team won this. And I don't think
yeah,
there's any debating.
I would go Chris Rose wordsmith on you, and I would say the talent on the field was similar. There was a clearly better team. There is a clearly better team, Trev, because this LA team has been through the fires. They've had the losses, they've had the winning. They went out, they had a massive offseason, which I'm glad we covered him all the way through because everyone should have. That unique Shohei contract from your guy Nez, the second that came out, to bring in Teoscar, to bring in Yamamoto, and at the deadline, everything they did. Trev, the Dodgers keep each other accountable. They're that's what that franchise is built on. The Yankees do not. Anthony Volpe probably should have been benched twice in his young Yankee tenure because he's a kid and baseball is really hard. He's very talented and very good. They treated Jazz Chisholm like he was a Hall of Fame third baseman. They called Clay Holmes the best closer in baseball for a month when he was blowing saves just to try to convince themselves. Know what the Dodgers would have said? Oh, we got to get Clay right now. Like, we love Clay. We're going to get him in some good spots. Like, that was the difference. The organizational top down to the team and how they manage each other and how they treat each other. That was the difference because the Yankees lost game 1 on a relay throw. They lost game 5 of the World Series on one of the worst defensive innings I've ever seen. World Series games, Trev. This isn't a Monday recap with us, and we're like, the Yanks could have had a couple of these World Series games.
Well, it's not just going to magically change. That's what I'm saying. Like they were not a fundamentally sound team.
Correct.
Throughout the year, base running. I mean, I didn't. The base running was talked about much during the year, and it was magnified in the playoffs. And like it was, like in all facets of the game, they got outplayed. Like they really did.
Yes.
Luke Weaver has a 3 disengagement balk. Like that just can't happen, dude.
Catcher's
Like that's
interference.
Catcher's interference. Wells, I need.
Can we talk about the fucking Dodgers, dude? Because hey, if these Dodgers are a better team, they are a better team and they deserve all the credit. How come we're talking about all the Yankees' blunders?
Well, we'll get there because a lot of this had to do with the Yankees' blunders. I think that Wells needs to I think he's gonna go into this offseason and kind of like search for something there, man. Like is he like the heir apparent, like gonna be the starting catcher next year, like 100%? Because like he's got some things he's got to work on. Because I mean, even in the last inning, there's a couple balls where he's just scooping. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, you can't be doing that with the runner on third base. They need to fix that. And he got the job done. He scooped him, but I'm like, that is not how you do that. You can't do that with like in this game, 1-run game, runners on third base. It's crazy. So, anyways, yes, talk about the Dodgers. Look, they got put in a crazy situation because you had the bullpen game. A bunch of guys, like their length guys, had thrown in game 4. Jack comes out, just doesn't have it, man. Keeps falling behind everybody. serves up a couple balls, like tries to sneak one past Judge first pitch. Doesn't happen. I mean, just not the right location, not the right pitch. He gets tagged for a few, so he doesn't even make it out of the second. Now all of a sudden, that rested bullpen you have, those guys aren't length guys. Those are your 1 inning guys, and you have to cover 7 2/3 innings now with those guys. And this was, I think, very difficult for the coaching staff to be able to piece this together. I mean, Trinan was in there, and when did he come in? He came in the
Sixth.
bottom of the 6th, and there was no other reliever that was like really should be up. Like all the other guys had thrown like 40 pitches the night before. Hudson had thrown in a couple games back to back. So I was wondering, where the hell are they going to go? Obviously, we know they got to Walker. That's a whole different, that's at the end of the show. I want to talk about him, but I think we've been kind of saying it, man. And it's bucked traditional LA Dodger talk. Dave Roberts did a really good job with the bullpen.
Oh, I mean, amazing. We were crunching the numbers, and it's like, who's gonna come out for the 9th? And then you hear Walker Buehler's getting loose, and you go, that's right, they're the Dodgers. They are willing to do that. They're gonna press those buttons. They had, something that'll go overlooked. Michael Kopech pitched the 4th, top of the lineup. 2 runners got on. It was 5-0. People in the stands are looking at Judge at the plate, saying like, hey, if this is 7-0, you could start booking flights. That leads to the 5th inning of depth, which on the other side, the Yankees brought in Tommy Kahnle for the 8th inning, tried to get some outs with him. And he doesn't get one. He lets 3 runners on. That Luke Weaver, who had been the Yankees ace in the hole, he gives up, 2 a sac fly, a catcher's interference, and strikes out Freddie. That, hey, if the Yankees had been more aggressive with their 8th inning, would they have pushed a run across and then changed their 9th inning? Who knows?
You wanted Weaver in there to start.
I'll be honest. I was in the stands and I was 50-50 on it because Kahnle had been good for the Yankees. And he is the only pitcher that didn't pitch the day before.
That's the recipe. Kahnle in the 8th, Weaver in the 9th.
A little bit, but
especially
I think
it was at the bottom of the order, right?
I think the whole point is you should not have recipes. Like the Dodgers made their own recipe. We in hindsight, you can critique that one. In live time, I was whatever. After seeing how the Dodgers got things done with figuring it out, like, hey, Walker Buehler, we might need an inning from you today, dog. In hindsight, seeing that, I would have rather gone down with Luke Weaver than Tommy Kahnle.
Was Walker Buehler were we DMing earlier in the day? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. I guess we can go there. We can go there now because
we were on my couch talking about it.
Kahnle, that's weird. Kahnle gives up bases loaded. Weaver gives up the sac flies. So now all of a sudden the Dodgers are up 7-6. And that was in the top of the 8th. So Trinan, freaking absolute stud, goes back out there, has to face Soto, Judge, Jazz, Stanton, and gets through it, man.
Yeah.
Soto with the 3-1. Judge hits the double down the line. Okay, a little scary. He walks Jazz. So you have first and second. Giancarlo takes kind of like a weird cut, although most of his swings kind of look weird, and unless he connects, then it's beautiful. It's like it's a strange swing there. Just misses one, it's kind of a nasty fastball. Just misses it, flies it out to the right field, and then he gets the Rizzo K. He's going nuts. Now he can't go back out, but that's when they started the show Walker Buehler in the bullpen, and he's warming up, and it's his bullpen day in between starts. He had just pitched 2 days ago. And I'm like, they have him and Hudson warming up. And I was like, please bring in Walker Buehler. And I said this on Baseball Today. Like, fan fiction for Dodger fans, Shohei Ohtani comes in and closes the 9th out, right? That's like Boner Jams 2024 right there. Everyone wanted that. Wasn't going to happen. Next up in the fluffer line, would be Walker Buehler coming in to close it out. He's a free agent. This guy's 2 Tommy Johns, like working his way back for 2 years, gives you that beautiful start in game 3. He's been like, people love him, man. He's pitched in some big games for the Dodgers. He's got like that attitude that everyone loves. He comes in, man. And I thought it was beautiful. I really, really did. Like the fact, like you mentioned, like the Dodgers kind of weaving and having to kind of go with the flow, and Walker being like, hell yeah, get me out there, give me my spikes. He said he hadn't thrown a ball all day long until he got to warm up to come into the game, dude. He's out there and gets Volpe to ground out, K's Wells, and then a beautiful, beautiful K to Verdugo. He was just spinning that thing. After the Wells K, he had thrown 7 out of 12 pitches were curveballs. And then he went after Verdugo with the same thing. And it was nasty. And he gave this. I'm always curious how you're going to react. And he was kind of like stoic about it. Like, I'm here. You guys know what's up. He's going to get paid. And then the celebration was on, man. I thought it was very like cinematic watching Walker Buehler close it out. I can't wait to see what happens with him. But again, like I just thought there was just the Dodgers outplayed the Yankees. Like they just out freaking played the Yankees. And the only game they lost was a bullpen game that they were in it until they weren't, until, Brent Honeywell kind of big inning. And
it's the most gentleman sweep ever. I mean, the one game the Yankees won was against their minor league pitching. So Dodgers, they feel like they're on top of a mountain right now, Trev. A mountain. God, I want to be on that mountain. It's for the Dodgers in LA today. But I'm talking about Mountain Dew, people. That's a mountain we can all get on. Get off your ass. Grab some Mountain Dew. You can't watch any more baseball. Maybe you're playing your own baseball. Maybe you're sad. Maybe you take your ball to the park. Bring some Mountain Dew. Bring a glove and a ball. You're going to have a nice day. You're not going to walk away from that day saying, I had a bad time. Go. The mountain is calling. You should answer. Grab your friends. Grab some ice cold Mountain Dews wherever refreshing beverages are sold. There's a link in the description. Let's do more Dodger love because I don't think we have. Freddie Freeman. Your series MVP?
He talked about it a little bit after the game with, I don't know if this was last night or the night before, but he's with our guys, A-Rod and Poppy and Jeets, and he was just talking about, the ability to get healthy in the days leading up to the World Series. And if you go back and remember the first couple series, I mean, the guy could barely run. It was bad, and it didn't look good, but he was gutting it out because that's what you do during the playoffs, and that's what Freddie Freeman does. He posts. He said that he got better. He was able to kind of get back to his routine, and he mentioned this, which I think is so cool. I talked about this a little bit on Baseball Today because I found a cue, and he was in the cage, and then something clicked. Like like you go through spurts like that as a hitter where you can see every pitch and you're just getting a rhythm and everything's working perfectly. Sometimes you're in the cage and it's just one swing or one thought process or a word that the hitting coach says. It just registers in your brain. It's like turning the lights on, dude. It's like, oh shit, you're right. He said he had one of those before the World Series, and kind of a good time to get one, for being honest, man. He was incredible, dude. He's so good for that organization. I think the guys that they have there that they signed are they're superstars, but still grindy.
Yes.
Like Freddie Freeman is not out trying to freaking be the man. He's just a dad who loves baseball and is really good at it. He's he's a ball player. Mookie is just a sports freak.
Yes.
And he's also not trying to be the man. He's just I'm Mookie. I'm the best.
Excited to see. Just excited to see how you label Shohei after calling Mookie the sports freak.
Well, I don't know. Does Shohei freaking do all the other sports like Mookie does?
Yes.
I
And he
think
fucks
Shohei
better. Yes.
possibly. You never know. Shohei is just the freak. Like you think Shohei gives a shit about anything but baseball and his dog? That's it. That's it. Like those three at the top of what you got going on there for many years to come. I think Freddie still has 3 years. Hey, fact check me there, Beavers. But like having those guys at the helm who have the accolades, the performance, and like the mental bandwidth to just be leaders, they're in such a good spot. And you talk about the organization with the Dodgers. 3 years left. Thank you, Beavers. Talk about the organization. Talk to anybody that's played for them and has played for other organizations as well. I always bring up Brian Dozier because, that's my closest guy. And he'll just say that's by far the best run organization. And he's talking about everything. It's down the line from how they treat families, how the travel is, how the meals are, how the coaching is, drafting, talent and evaluation. Obviously they have the money to do it because it's a big marketplace and, they spend it. They're not afraid to go out there and freaking put it out in the line. I mean, look what they gave for Yamamoto, who gave a great start in the World Series, who's going to be there for 50 years. It feels like a top-down World Series trophy.
Yeah, they are the better team. They are the better org. They've shown that year in, year out for the past decade or so. Yeah, and that's where, again, I not necessarily circling back on the Cole Rizzo ball, but man, it's what you're saying about those guys. Like, hey, Yankee fans were getting in their feelings like, wait, Freddie Freeman was just a free agent? Because that swing looked decent at the stadium. We went out and we got Rizzo. Okay. Do you know, I know you don't like trivia, Trev, but do you know the last Yankee first baseman to hit a home run?
Ew. John Birdie.
DJ LeMahieu, July 31st. July 30th. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
It's first base a power position. That when Cole got Mookie there, and it's why I'm still hurt by it. And again, there's a Cole side to it that can't be argued against. I get it. Mookie Betts is going to be remembered as a unique inner circle Hall of Famer. Like you said, he's this weird sporty boy. Like there was a while when you turned on baseball internet and it's like Mookie Betts bowled 300. Mookie Betts wrestled this bull. Mookie Betts could be an NFL wide receiver. Mookie Betts was playing shortstop this year in his 30s for the first time, about to win the NL MVP. He was going to break baseball. They got him to squib out to keep a World Series game 5-0. You got what you
know
deserve.
what though? But okay, again, Dodger credit here. Fucking ran. He fucking ran, dude.
Dude, Freddie Freeman beat up a double play ball.
Yes, it was his fast. That was his fastest sprint speed all year long.
Are we saying that about Stanton's trying to score? Like that's
what I'm saying. These guys are dumb. I'm not saying that Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Gerrit Cole aren't dogs. Those guys are dogs. I don't follow the team as closely as you do, but I think there is a different leadership style in New York where it's like, hey man, I'm gonna have your back no matter what. And I think the Dodgers are like, and again, I'm just guessing. I'm not in the clubhouses, so don't take this 100%, but it seems to me like the Dodgers philosophy talking to guys is, yeah, we have your back, but this is about more than you. Like this is about us winning. Like, so if there needs to be a change, like we need to make the change. And I think this year for the Yankees, what we saw with Clay Holmes and what we saw with a lot of people, and maybe it starts with Aaron Boone, because I know he has the players' backs, and I like that. I think it was maybe a little bit a little bit too much of like the pat on the back thing, and sometimes you need to kick in the ass.
1,000%. 1,000%. It's the one thing that we would change about the Yankees organization. It would be just more like proper accountability. Like, it's not like you have to throw guys under the bus. Like, it's just, again, I don't want to take, well, people have taken their shots at Clay Holmes, and it's because he had the most blown saves in baseball. And it took the Yankees seeing it over and over, where the Dodgers, the back end of their bullpen, there's days you didn't know who was coming in for the saves. Trinan took over this postseason, but they had Kopech out there. Like, their goal is to win the game. And if you're pitching in the 4th inning, the 8th inning, or whatever, the Yankees want to believe in stuff so much that they'll try to talk it into existence, and then they wait till they get broken. They subbed out their starting shortstop in the playoffs in 2022 for the first time all year. You know why Verdugo played every game? Because they've been really scared and worried about putting Judge or Soto in left field. So Jason Dominguez, who's supposed to be one of their most talented prospects, who came up, knocked around Justin Verlander and showed, he has skill. I don't know what the future has. They couldn't even play him because they didn't call him up till late, because we believe in Verdugo, who his numbers statistically grade out worse than Gallo's on the Yankees. So where the Dodgers, if they needed a next playoff win and Chris Taylor was the guy or whoever, like, they don't care. We need to win. It's the World Series.
Yeah.
This is the World Series.
It was the World Series.
It was the World Series. And God.
Now we start the off season, Pop. Now we're going to go. What's next for us? Because that's really what's important here.
Right.
All JM team final month. That's got to be coming up soon. Off season talk.
Next week.
Soto.
Got to do a free agent.
Did he wear a Boris hat?
preview.
Did he wear a Boris hat?
I don't know. He was one of the last Yankees watching the celebration was the tweet I saw about Soho.
I saw that
Soto.
too. And
Last
the
to
Yankees
leave
didn't
the
open their
dugout.
clubhouse for 40 minutes after the game. We had to wait for them to get sound for baseball today last night. So that wasn't nice of you guys. What were you guys talking about? Anyways.
Nothing. You're talking about nothing and thinking it was something. Like, we heard after the game they won that they were in the dugout screaming about, we're going to actually do this thing and we're going to win it all. And no, you're not going to be remembered forever. You're going to be forgotten because you blew playoff games.
You might be remembered forever for that 5th inning.
You lost 2 playoff games on defensive lapses in the World Series. It's awful, Trev. It's an all-time embarrassment.
And meanwhile, the Dodgers are set up to continue to go and make large runs in the postseason.
Know what I loved as a signing for them? Shohei for $2 million a year. I love that.
Technically, not $2 million a year. Let's stop. But technically, also it is one of those things.
If you want to say that, you're not wrong.
Cash out of pocket, $2 million. Cash against the books, 44.5, I think it is. They're rumored to be on Soto. I don't know what that means.
Go get him. Go get him. And hey, whatever we've got coming next, part of it's going to be the DraftKings Sportsbook because they've been with us for a while now. They're what helps us do all the stuff we do, and you can get in on the action if you bet $5, maybe on football, basketball's back, hockey, however you cope, New York fans. If you bet $5, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code Talkin. So download the DraftKings Sports app now. New customers use promo code Talkin. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Promo code Talkin, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Final words. Can I go?
Please.
I love our fans. I love our
Yes.
community that we built. I think that is what separates us in this baseball media world is we have a legit community of fans that we really care about. And I think our fans care about us. And I love that relationship. Every time I go to any baseball field, whether it's big leagues or youth or whatever, like got a lot of people coming up and saying they like what we do. And we put in a lot of work. There's no doubt about it, man. We do. We are grinding. And I think people notice that, but I love doing this, and it's because the fans tune in that we're able to do this. So thank you to LA fans, New York fans, everyone in between. If your team stinks, we're sorry, but we love you. And that's it, man. We're gonna be here in the off season, but I can't. I need a few days off, Pop. I'm sick of hearing my own voice. I hope everyone else isn't sick of it, but I'm sick of it.
I could listen to that thing all day, white chocolate.
Can you? Yeah. Can you listen
No,
to
it's
me, Walker Bueller, Jack Flaherty on your couch?
Trev, it's nuts. I hope this doesn't come off as a douchey anecdote, but everything I do kind of comes off a little douchey. So whatever, like I get it. I'm wearing a Jake Sucks sleeveless T-shirt, and I guess there's the people that appreciate that, and I thank you guys enough, and even the people that don't, like I kind of get it. It's kind of fucking weird, and it's like why, that we were at Fanatics Fest this year, which was like a big, first of its kind sports thing, right? Like all the sports stars were in town. It was crazy. The list they rolled out. It was like that 4th of July white party. And me and Trev were walking out, probably to make a night out of it. And there was like a collection of people with their phones out, like blogging, like with the little mics and the cameras and stuff. And you're joking, but you're like, what's going on here? Like, what is this? And I was like, dude, I'm the problem. I worked in electrical supply distribution. I was chilling. My buddy said, hey, let's start a Yankees podcast. And now we've turned into whatever we've turned into. We've got like 60 employees. Like there's a big office in Manhattan, and it's all because there's a lot of people that like baseball. That's what like built all of this. So the fact that I get to be a part of that is nuts. It's nuts. And God, it's a lot of fun. Although there was some sadness, and I did sleep in my clothes on the couch last night.
I think that's yeah. The story goes, Jake Story slept in his clothes that night.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. If you're subscribed and all the little stuff that helps. And as you well know, the content don't stop. The offseason's here. I'm looking at that Yankees. How can we get better? Where is Walker Buehler signing? You need a lot. And
I said Walker Buehler to the Padres on Baseball Today, and people were like, they want to kill me.
Sacrilege.
Yes.
But doesn't he fit perfectly with the Padres?
Congrats to the Los Angeles Dodgers. An elite franchise makes 2020 feel better. And how about the start of the Shohei regime? Not 1, not 2, not 3.
Didn't even pitch this year.
Love you guys.
Love.
Back to 2 episodes a week next week.
Where's my big old Jeff Nameless blunt? What is that, 50 euros or those liras? What do you got?
50 pesos.
Oh.
I think this is almost not money.
You could get some for that.
Something.
Love everybody. LA for life. 818, baby.
Terry Francona to the Reds.
That's worth $250.